Greetings one and all, this is Lloyd Brown and welcome social media family to my vlog. You see, when the slogan "in the presence of greatness" is uttered by some people have it in the wrong context, you know. They don't have it in the right context, but right about now I can safely and honestly tell you that it's in the absolute right context right about now. It is a pleasure for me to be sitting beside this gentleman. He's one of the most beloved and revered figures in this UK reggae music fraternity. He's been doing it from dirt, and it was just necessary for me to come out of my lab, drive all the way down to his lab, and to be sitting down in the presence of greatness. So I would like to introduce to you the one and only Mr. Carlton Ogilvie, affectionately known as Bubblers. What you say, Bless?
Thank you very much, and greetings to all one and all.
The check's in the post, right? So, what we're going to be doing, we're going to be talking about this gentleman's life and career, and it spans how many years now?
Oh my gosh, about 40 plus years.
40 plus years. And it's pretty much easy to tell you who he hasn't worked with. From the domestic reggae scene and the international reggae scene, it's easy to tell you who he has not worked with. But what we're going to do on this first episode, we're gonna just holding back the years to when Bubblers was a little boy growing up in his family residence. So can you tell the people your childhood? Can you tell the people about your childhood and just, you know, how you just came to be and exist and coexist with the world as a youth?
Well, I always liked music as a little youth. As a child, my father used to, as most of our fathers and parents used to do, they used to buy records and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, and my dad used to have jazz records and what do you call it, like those ginries, the typical West Indian scenario of records and stuff like that. So, but my dad used to have a party trick. You know, those days, you know, our parents used to have the parties in their houses. Yeah. They didn't go out to club or anything like that. Yeah. So, my dad's party trick was this: when he'd ask one of his friends, he goes, "Yeah, tell Carlton to play this tune," and he'd sing the tune to me. Right. And I couldn't read at the time. I was about probably 3 or 4 years old. And he'd go, they'd just sing the tune to me, and I'd go, "Yeah, Carlton, play that tune there." And I'd go in the record box, dig out the tune, and play it. Right. So they go, "How him know that?" But you know, in those days, they used to scratch out the labels. Yeah. And I used to recognize the records by the scratch out. It was scratched. Seriously? That's how I used to recognize the records. Seriously? So I couldn't read, but I'd know that if I had scratched that way or that way, that's that.
So you knew about scratching before scratching was even a thing.
Yeah, well, that version of scratching anyway. So my dad used to do that a lot, you know, to tell his friends, like, "Oh, I'm really good, I'm really that." But I was always into music. I'd be like, when records were playing, I was like a drone. I'd be at the turntable just watching the label going around like this. Yeah. And just taking it all in. Like, I'd be at the speaker box just listening. I don't know what I'm listening for, but I'm listening. Right. And then sometimes I go to my dad going, "Can you hear that thing there in the background?" And he goes, "Well, I don't know what you're listening for, son. What are you listening for?" But I'm listening to like the hi-hat or the snare drum or the little guitar picking. I'm hearing all these things. Right. And so forth. So I was always attracted to music, and when I was born, ska was the order of the day. Okay. So them times, so we had a lot of ska records. So to this day, I always tell people, like my guitarist Tony, so when I hear a ska tune, it just reminds me of getting beaten. Like, you know, somebody's getting somebody's getting in trouble somewhere. Somebody's getting in trouble somewhere, and some picnic somewhere is getting beaten. And you go, go and beat your ass. I go and beat your ass. It's always remind me that somebody somewhere is getting beaten. Not in a bad way. It just does that to me. But that's what my child was like.
I never did that as a sadist, Bubblers, for real.
Yeah, it just always reminds me of that. And the way the beat used to be. Yeah. It's like race horses going. Yeah. It's like aggressive but wicked. I used to love it. So
let me just cut in and ask you something, because, you know, when I get interviewed, I often cite a couple of songs that I used to hear growing up that really, really had an effect on me. And for me, it was like These Arms of Mine by Otis Redding and Wonderful World, Beautiful People by Jimmy Cliff. Which songs did you used to hear on your father's radiogram that really had an effect on you, that where you knew that music just got under your skin that deep?
Well, I'll tell you what, I'm just gonna take you on a little journey, just a little bit.
Sure.
My mother, this was her room as well. This is the family house, by the way.
See.
So, and I born and grew in this house. So this room here, my music room, was my mother's dressmaking room.
Okay.
She used to make dresses, and in those days, a lot of people used to get married.
Yeah.
So we used to get invited to the weddings, as my mother was a dressmaker. So we'd always go to the reception, and I'd always be watching the sound and set up and fix up and that. And I remember this, you know, as you watch them setting up and things like that, I remember these two tunes. Every time I used to hear them, it just used to do something to me. I didn't know what it was. I don't know what a hit tune was then, but I just knew I liked those tunes. One of them was Nanny Goat.
Larry Marshall?
Yeah, Larry Marshall.
Okay.
I said, what? I used to do something to me as a youth. Let me look at you. Yeah. And the next tune was The Cables, Baby Why.
Oh, okay.
That was the tune. I remember we used to have tenants in the house here.
Right.
And the tenant downstairs used to have a record player. And anytime he played that, I'd go to the stairs and just listen to that tune. And it made me feel sad, but it made me feel sad, the song. I don't know what he was singing about at the time.
Yeah.
But it reached me.
Yes.
The song, it reached me. And I used to just love listening to it.
Uh-huh.
And why, baby, why, oh, why, and I'd be lost in it.
Uh-huh.
Those are two tunes. I don't know why it used to do that to me, but Nanny Goat and Baby Why. I even want to hear them to this day now on the radio. I go, yeah.
It's like you just time travel back to that point in time.
Yeah, it does that to me, and that made me know. Say, you know what? You're deep into reggae. You're really deep into it. We had other tunes, but those kind of tunes used to do something to me. So that kind of answers the question for me. Those tunes stand out to me, as a youth. Okay. And that made me get into music. It took me into it.
So how old was you at that point in time?
I was about 5 or 6 years old.
Okay.
It was quite young age, but I just said the music has done something for me. And there was a couple of tunes like that, but those two in particular. You know, and those two tunes were, I didn't know at the time, but they were Studio One tunes. Right. And I wasn't really into any label. It's just when you hear a tune and it wicked.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But those two tunes in particular.
So let me ask you another question, right? I mean, it's obvious that our lifestyles as Black British youths were more or less similar. One of the same in terms of how we used to entertain ourselves. So in relation to music, was the radiogram in the beloved front room the only source of entertainment you would get, or would you be listening to the radio at that time as well?
There was a pattern in the house when I used to get up in the mornings. Obviously, my dad's getting ready for work, and my mum's getting us kids to go to school. Yeah, and we listened in the morning to the radio. Right, that's radio time. Yeah. But like evening time, but then again, it's mostly weekends and Sundays. We'd listen to the gram or listen to records. Sure. But in the morning, every morning, you always have the radio on. I can remember it's either be Radio 1, then you'd be hearing Tamla Motown tunes, and all the latest English tunes like the Rolling Stones, the Beatles, But it's like mainly Tamla Motown and stuff. That was really.
It's funny you mentioned Tamla Motown because I remember a tune by Frida Payne called "Band of Gold," right? Yeah. That always reminded me of Fish Fingers. I don't know why. It just reminded me of Fish Fingers because we wasn't rich them time days. We would have Fish Fingers with everything. You know what I mean? So So whenever I band the gun, just remind me of fish fingers. It's just funny what music does to you. So yeah, so you would listen to Tamla Motown them time there, back in the day as well.
Especially in the mornings, like getting ready for school.
Okay.
And stuff like that. At that age, at least.
Right. Okay. So you was like 4, 5, 6 years old.
Yeah.
So when you went to junior school now, did music play a big part, or was it just a case of just being academic and just knuckling down and getting your head down and doing your work at school?
I was just into more schoolwork. Like, I didn't really get into because I didn't have no instruments at home.
Right.
And all I knew is that, but at our junior school, like I think it wasn't. I wouldn't call it once a month. I'd call it like every term, I should say.
Right.
You have a day where you could bring your own records.
Okay.
So we'd bring our own records.
Okay.
And we get one day we can play a reggae tune in school.
See.
You know, and people would bring their various little records, and we'd have a little day, like a couple of hours playing our tunes from home.
And when that would occur, would that be like midterm, end of term?
End of term.
End of term.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like end of term, like once every end of term, you get a chance to do that. And I remember my dad bought a tune called it was by Maytals originally, but the DJ on the other side it had it was what's your ears, your eyes, your hands and feet, keep them a moving. And the other side was, yeah, Scorpion. I can't remember all the words, but it was a big tune at the time. And I used to bring that. When I walk with that, it's like I had gold in my hand.
Bullion.
I'm walking. What tune you got, Bob? What tune you got, Carlton? What tune you got, Carlton? I have a Scorpion. I put it down and go, yeah. They go, yeah, brother, yeah. I don't know that tune. I don't know. You feel like a god, you know. And I don't. It's just one tune, you know.
See.
But it was like that for us. Like every end of term or something like that, you had a one day you could bring some records and you could play them at school.
So you know I'm kind of heading it because obviously you know not only are you a producer but you are a keyboard player. I mean you're a multi-instrumentalist, which we're going to go into later on. But your primary instrument is the keyboard. Yeah. So what I wanted to basically ask you was, when did you actually start learning to play the keyboards?
All right, I'm gonna put you in a picture now.
Okay.
When I started secondary school, which is John Kelly Boys School, which is in Cricklewood, Neasden. That's northwest to London. And you know, you have a parents' day before you start school.
Yeah.
You have a parents' day where all the parents come with the kids.
Okay.
Like this would be like 2 weeks before the summer holiday, before the school term started in September.
Right. And
all the parents would come down and they'd take them walk through all the grounds of the school, where all the classes are, what the middle classes, what the music classes. So they went in John Kelly with a music block. So we all went to the music. All these parents went to the music block, and they're telling us when you go in there, it had about 6 rooms, and each room had a piano in it.
Okay. Which
was rare to me, like to go to actual school and see a piano, like, and it's like a music room. You'd have small rooms like this, and you have big rooms, and every room had a piano in it, and some room had a drum kit in it.
Okay.
And that was exciting. You know, the live drum kit and the piano. Whoa! Yeah. I'm going to enjoy coming to this school. And for some reason, the teacher's talking, and my mum, she just goes up to the piano. I'm watching her. She walks up to the piano and goes, dum, in the middle of what the man's talking, you know.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at my mum like, I didn't say anything to her. I go, why did she do that? And it's like, she just, dum. Everybody looked round, and the man started his finisher, and I looked at the keyboard, and I remember it to this day. It was G. I don't know. I remember. Eventually, I learned that it was G. Okay. And I said, boy, my mum was somehow psychologically leading me to that.
Yeah.
Because I didn't have no inkling to play piano or anything. At that time, I didn't even know how to play it. But when I started to school now. That school is a musical school. Brinsley Ford went there. A whole heap of music. Daryl Washington went there. Whole heap of musicians went there, and good musicians at that school. So what it is, you have is like at playtime or lunchtime, everybody got onto the music block who's into the music.
Yeah.
And there'd be and the top of the musicians, I mean, I'd be like first year, and you got like fourth years and fifth years. They're up there in the music room, and they're banging out the latest tunes, like tunes like "Caught in the Lie," Louisa Mark, and they're playing it on the piano, and the drummer player, and you're just in there like going, yeah, this is better than the football or anything. It's like and they do, and some of them can show off, and play, and you think, I just want some of that. I really want, but we didn't have no bass or anything, so a man would be playing the bass notes on the piano, and a man would play the lead lines at the top, and then the man would play the rhythm section in the middle, and that was constantly going on for 2-3 years until another influential thing for me is we had a music teacher called Mr. Gray. He was a ginger-haired guy, a ginger beard, and he was into reggae. I don't know why he was into reggae, but he'd be into there, and he goes, and he'd be asking us, have you heard that latest tune by Burning Spear? Have you heard that latest tune by Culture? And all this song, you know about them tunes, sir? You know about the tunes? He goes, I know about reggae, I know about reggae. And so he'd make us play, he'd be going in there going, look, this is how you make a G chord. And we're going, drum.
Keep that chord. Keep that chord. We're gonna cut away from this for now, and we're gonna go into part 2 in continuation of Bubblers seeing the light with the keyboard and Mr. Gray with him ginger beard and all them things, and all these things in the second episode. So stay blessed, stay tuned.